everyone, it's Shamila Ramjawan coming to you from the beautiful Johannesburg, South Africa. Today, my special guest on the show is Professor Dr. Ravinder Rena. Prof Rena is from India and has deep-rooted himself in academia in South Africa for a number of years. He's a profound academician, writer, editor, advisor, motivational speaker with over 30 years of teaching and research experience in Asia Pacific, Africa, and most European countries. His most recent position being a professor of economics at the Durban University of Technology in Durban, South Africa. So let's get to know more about Prof Rena. Welcome to the show, Prof Rena. How are you doing?
Prof Shamila, good morning or good afternoon. You are in Johannesburg. I'm in India, Hyderabad right now. So it could be afternoon for you, and I'm doing all right, ma'am. And how are you doing today?
Very well, thank you. And just for the audience, Prof Rena calls me Prof because I'm regarded as a professor in Cambodia. So it is not a full professorship, but all instructors are called professors there, like most countries. So just so that, we clear any doubts that people now suddenly think Shamila is a professor.
Prof, that is, you are so humble that actually your experience and your expertise and your insights and your wisdom itself, you are more than a professor yourself. Prof, you are deserved to be, and you'll be also very soon. You will be become a professor like me. It's not a big deal, Prof.
Well, I'm getting there. I'm getting there slowly. We can't put any timelines to our studies, but things work out according to God's plan, and I believe so.
Yes, Prof. Certainly.
So, Prof Rena, please tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, education, anything that you would like to share with the audience.
Well, Prof. Shamila, thank you very much for inviting me for your show, and it's indeed a great honor and privilege for me to be part of your show. And to begin with, Prof, that every big change that we see today in the world, they always had some small beginnings. So my journey is started. I am a farmer myself, and my parents also. They are humble farmers with a village background and with a rural background, and that's where I started my journey. And so I worked as a farmer myself along with my parents. And if tell you that particular location where I come from, a small village called Errabelli. Errabelli is part of the district Hanamkonda of Telangana state of India. That's where I come from.
Mhm.
And in fact, P.V. Narasimha Rao, our former Prime Minister of India, he and me, we share the same mandal, that is Bhima Devarapalli mandal. So his village is Vangara, my village is Errabelli. We are about 7 to 8 kilometers far from each other. So that's where I come from. And then slowly I completed my schooling in different places, particularly Arabelli village, Mulkanur and Huzrabad. And those are the areas that I completed my intermediate education. Thereafter at Kakti University, at Kaktiya Government Degree College, I obtained my first degree in 1990. So that's almost about 33 years ago. I completed my first degree, major in economics, minor in management, and public policy and public administration. And thereafter, I moved on to Usmania University in Hyderabad, where I am currently located at the moment. I just came a month ago from South Africa to attend various conferences, including BRICS conference, which I'm going to talk about a little later. And then so I moved to Hyderabad, the Usmania University, which is more than 100 years old university. That's where I got some better rank, I should say that. And so I, through the merit, I was admitted. I got eighth rank in the total in 1990 August. So that's where I admitted to my master's program in economics. So I finished my master's in economics in 1992, and thereafter I moved on to MPhil, which is Master of Philosophy in Economics. It's like a bridging course between the master's and the PhD. with some research component. So then I completed my MPhil degree during 1992 to 1995, and May 1995 I obtained my degree, that is in economics again, with some kind of specialization with economics of education. So then, Prof, I moved on to the PhD program, that is the PhD, and admitted immediately in 1995 for my PhD program in economics, Department of Economics, Usmania University, Hyderabad, India. And I completed my PhD with flying colors. And when I completed my PhD, I got the best PhD gold medal. That was given actually among the College of Business Management, College of Accounting Finance, College of Social Sciences, particularly economics. So among these three institutions, they pick up only one best PhD student. So that's what I bagged up, and so that is the honor that I credit that I could able to get through my hard work and also God's blessings, Pro. And then in between, I also completed my BEd degree, which is a Bachelor of Education, and also LLB degree, that is Bachelor of Legal Laws. I'm a registered advocate, but unfortunately, I've been into teaching profession more than the legal profession, so I couldn't practice my law as an advocate, as an attorney. But I'm more comfortable with the teaching than the legal profession. So I obtained in total, Prof, about 6 degrees,
Wow.
BA economics, and masters, first masters in economics, second masters in economics, PhD in economics, and BEd and LLB together. So I got totally 6 degrees, Prof. So that is my background of education. And also, of course, my family background, as indicated, Prof, that my parents are farmers, and I'm also a farmer myself. So from farmer to a professor, it is a journey, Prof. I
Wow.
passed through for the last 30 years.
What an accomplishment. I mean, so many degrees. Are you still studying?
Thanks, Prof.
That is amazing. Well done. Well done on all your achievements. I mean, just winning the gold award as well. That is just such an accomplishment. Congratulations on that. So you are a bright
Thank you,
star.
Prof. Yes, Prof. I always believe in one thing: no pains, no gains.
Ah,
If you pain yourself, you work hard, and then one day or the other day you'll be blessed with some kind of recognition and the merit. So that's what I believe in, and that's what I got it from.
well, tell me about it. You know, I was complaining to someone yesterday that I spent 2 hours to write one page of my thesis. And it was just driving me insane. But, you know, this is the pain that we go through with PhD studies. But Prof, you know what really intrigued me on your bio is your move to South Africa. What prompted that? You know, please tell me a little bit about that.
Prof, I spent almost 30 years of my career. I spent majority portion of my career in African continent. And I moved to Africa in 1997. And I worked a country called Eritrea, which is a newly born baby, which was obtained its independence in 1993. So in 1997, August onwards, I was there in that country for almost a decade or so. And I worked there ceaselessly and tirelessly, and that motivated me. The country, because it's a newborn baby one side, they do not have so much in terms of the research, in terms of the literature development. So they don't even have books. So I begin to write the books on Eritrean economy, the financial institutions of Eritrea, the education system of Eritrea. I published 3 books actually on Eritrea. I also published quite a number of articles in different reputed journals across the globe on Eritrean economy and Eritrean system, actually, in different angles, from financial system to educational growth, educational finances, and also not confined to agriculture of Eritrea, food security of Eritrea, and so on. So I did spend a considerable amount of my career in that country. One side, it is newborn baby. It was part and parcel of Ethiopia, and then it got independence in 1993, May 24. And then after that, Prof, I moved to Papua New Guinea. I don't know many people, they are not aware of Papua New Guinea, which is part of Australian continent, and which was also got independent in 1976 from Australia. And I worked there as the head of the Department of Economics at Department of Business Studies at Papua New Guinea University of Technology. So I served there for some time, and thereafter, again, my love to Africa attracted me towards African continent. So I came back to Africa when I got a position in Namibia, which is in the southwest of Africa, actually. And then I was working there as a program coordinator for the JEMP program, Giant Africa Masters Program, which was a giant master's degree between Botswana, South Africa, Italy, and also Mozambique and Namibia. So these are the 5 countries. They have a consortium to award the master's degree, which is called Giant Africa Masters Program. So I was the one who is heading that particular program. And then I served there at the Harald Pupkewitz Business School for about 3 years time. Then I used to come to South Africa quite frequently as a visiting professor. I was a visiting professor at CUT, at Central University of Technology, Bloemfontein. I was also delivering some guest lectures in different institutions of South Africa, different universities of South Africa, and also frequently traveling for attending conferences or delivering lectures. So I developed a passion and developed interest towards South Africa. It's one of the beautiful countries on the planet, which is also, Cape Town is always standing number 10 position or number 8 position in the whole world. That is among the top 10 destinations of the world. So I applied for the University of the Western Cape for a position that was advertised, and eventually I got selected as a professor of economics at the Department of Economics of University of the Western Cape. So
okay,
that's how
we're going to get to that shortly. So just I just want to stop you there because you're so well traveled, and you gave up farming to become a professor. What about family?
Prof, I do have 2 children, my wife and my 2 children. My wife's name is Ravinder Rena, and my son name is Uday Vikas Rena, is 21 years of old. And then my daughter Geetika Priya Rena. So my children and my wife, they were also traveling with me wherever I go. They were, in fact, my son, my daughter, they were born in Eritrea while I was working there. And thereafter, when I moved to Papua New Guinea, they were also traveled with me. They were also studying in Papua New Guinea, Leh, which is the 2nd largest city. And then when I moved to Namibia, they were also with me. When I moved to Cape Town, also they were with me. So they were everywhere, wherever I go.
Okay.
So, and now my children, they are studying MBBS degree, which is a medical degree, Bachelor of Surgery and Bachelor of Medicine. So both of them are aspiring to be medical doctors in the coming few years' time, Prof.
That's wonderful. Congratulations. And your wife, what does she do?
She's been a home minister, homemaker, because of the frequent travel from one country to another country. And eventually she couldn't work in any particular country where I was residing. But she's a mathematics teacher. And she also offered, while she was in Cape Town, she started Mastermind Mathematics tuitions. And she started teaching maths for grade probably 5 to grade 12. And she indeed produced so many mathematics students actually in South Africa. And that's her contribution. Now she joined, recently she joined as a warden, girls hostel warden for the medical college, which is Surabhi Institute of Medical Sciences. So she's looking after more than 450 girl students of that particular college. So recently, for the past few months or so, she's been embarked working as a girls hostel warden, Pro.
That is amazing. What a family. I mean, it's mathematics, it's economics, and now the medical field as well. Wow, that must be quite interesting at the dinner table, these conversations.
Yes, Prof. Thank you.
So, Prof Rena, you're affiliated with a number of organizations at board level and just having interaction with them. Please inform us just a little bit about these institutions and how you get involved.
Prof, to start with, I am an adjunct professor of the Monarch University, Monarch Business School, based in Switzerland. I've been associated with that university for the last 11 years, starting from February 2012 until today. I've been associated as an adjunct professor. I deal with master's and PhD students, so research, and also deliver some courses whenever the need arises. So that is one. And the second one is that I'm also, there is a Sri Pandit Ravi Shankar is very well known in South Africa for his art of living. So Pandit Ravi Shankar ji, he started a university called Sri University in Cuttack, Orissa, Odisha in India. So I'm appointed as a visiting professor of that university, and also Manipal University in Rajasthan. There is also Sparsh Global Business School, which is a premier business school based in Delhi. I'm also a visiting professor for those institutions of higher learning, teaching probably MBA students and delivering guest lectures and so on and so forth, and also teaching some short learning programs as well. And in addition to that, Prof, I'm also appointed as a visiting professor of the St. Petersburg State University in Russia. And in fact, I'll be traveling to Russia in the month of September, and then I'll be teaching a course there as well, particularly for the masters and the PhD students as well. So that is one thing, Prof. And then the other point I would like to share with you is that I'm a global president for the economic affairs for the All India Sustainable Development Council, which is basically an organization that deals with economical, social sustainability issues. And they got some funding from different organizations like OECD and also United Nations and various other organizations that they could, even Government of India. So that is I'm also, I deal with the economic affairs of that particular organization. And besides that, I'm also associated with so many other institutions, with a short-term assignment or maybe delivering some guest lectures or probably being a keynote speaker and chief guest or special guest of honor from so many conferences across the globe, Prof.
Such a popular person. I can't keep up with you. I honestly can't keep up with you because every time I speak to you, it's like you're in another country, you know. We don't speak for about 3 months and then suddenly you're somewhere else. But well done on everything. I mean, you're such a role model, you know.
And also, Prof, one more point I forgot to mention, Prof, is that To Love Children. There was an organization which was started by Dr. David Walderman, based in America, and I'm also board of director for that particular organization. They try to help the children across African countries and also India and Asian countries, developing countries. They try to help in order to promote the literacy, in order to enhance the or empower the women, and also probably uh, giving some kind of momentum and support for the children in the rural areas of developing countries. So I'm also part of that particular organization, Prof.
Fantastic. Humanitarian work as well. Wow. What
Yes,
is
Prof.
missing from your bio? Nothing.
Well, I'm trying. I'm a simple human being, Prof. I'm just trying. Actually, the best thing I can give is my time. So I'm always trying to balance with that.
We're going to talk about the balancing act just now, but just on your travel, you know, you travel so often and you've presented over 60 papers at national and international conferences and seminars. Now, 60 papers, that's a lot of papers. What piques your interest when accepting invitations? Because I know you're so busy, you have so much happening on your plate. And, you know, one cannot accept all the invitations when you are invited to something. So what criteria do you actually use to base your decision on which event or conference to attend?
Well, thanks for that question. In fact, there are two components I would like to separate in that question. You asked that it was the 60 conference paper that I presented at different international national conferences across the globe, and the keynote speeches, and also being a chief guest delivering some kind of lectures as a resource person, and that is different. So I've been to more than 225 conferences across the globe, including Japan, America, Europe, and elsewhere, Brazil, and so on. That they are 225 different conferences. Some of them are online, offline, and so on, Pro. And these 60 conferences, Pro, normally we look at, according to our South African policy, Department of Higher Education and Training, we look at if a conference is recognized and approved by the DHET.
Mm-hmm.
So that is whether they have any book publication is going to take place, or whether the conference itself is been approved by the DHET. So those are the criteria that we look at, Prof. So that we'll also, when we present a paper in that, and if the paper is published, we'll get some kind of credit from the DHET. So that is
Yes.
the criteria that we look at. The credibility of the organizers, credibility of the organization which is conducting or organizing the conference, and also the group of the editorial board and the conveners and the conference directors and so on and so forth. So those are the criteria that we look at, Prof. That is about the conference presentations. The presentation of the paper is different from delivering keynote speeches. So I've been as a keynote speaker for various institutions, including recently I was there at the Banaras Hindu University as a guest professor there. Banaras Hindu University is one of the prominent universities in India. I was also delivering a University of Kota, for example, the state universities, government universities. I was the keynote speaker for the program,
Wow.
BRICS conference, in fact. So when a lot of people they approach me to be their keynote speaker, I look at what is the theme of the conference, and whether I can able to deliver some, whether I can able to add some value to that.
Mhm.
And then I also look at my time frame, whether at that particular point of time, whether I'm busy with something else or not. So
Yes.
those are the criteria that I look at, Prof. And also, there are a lot of people they respect whether the Harvard University approaches me or not. If even if a small institution, a small college, or small university that approaches me with their humility, their humbleness, that's what I look at, Prof. It is
Yes.
not about the UCT, University of Cape Town, but it
Yes.
is any institution in the world, as long as they are doing something good and they are
Yes.
trying to bring and connect me with the students. That's what I look at for.
Absolutely. Did you find that there were overlaps where you actually had two conferences or events happening at the same time and you had to choose?
Absolutely. Yes, it happened number of times. There was a Christ University, which is also one of the very good institutions in India. They invited me in the month of, some time back, and there was a clash with their conference, and there was another conference that was taking place at Institute of Hotel Management, Bhopal. And then I had to politely refuse that I couldn't able to make. So it happened quite number of times on regular
Mhm.
basis. Recently also, for example, the Prestige Institute of Management, Gwalior. They always invite me to be their keynote speaker. And every year for almost a decade, I've been traveling physically to that particular college, that particular university. On the 11th and 12th of February 2023, they also invited me, but that was clashing with the University of Kota BRICS conference. So
Mhm.
I have to do it online for them than going to that conference physically. So I
Yes.
always try to accommodate wherever I can, then
Mhm.
completely avoid it. If I couldn't able to accommodate even online, then I would simply say that I'm sorry, maybe next time.
Yes, I so agree with you. But
Yes.
the pertinent question, who funds all this travel?
Prof, it all depends. Some of the organizers, they do have funds. Uh, they will buy the air tickets. They also provide the guest house accommodation in their universities and so on. Some
Mhm.
of them, they don't have funds. So in some cases, I do travel with my own cost. And so, for example, while I was coming from South Africa, I paid from my own pocket. Nobody paid a single cent for my travel, though it is an expensive travel. But I don't look at that money, but I look at the value that I'm going to add, or some
Mhm.
kind of presence that can make some difference for somebody or some university in the country. So that's what I look at, Pro. But there are
Okay, sorry about that, Prof. There was a bit of interruption there, but we can continue.
sure, Pro.
Okay, so just on your move from the University of Western Cape, and then you were at the Northwest University, and now you're at DUT. What prompted those moves? Just take me through that journey.
Well, that's also an interesting question, Pro. For that, of course, Cape Town is one of the beautiful places, as I indicated to you. I thought I could settle down in Cape Town, and I saw the University of the Western Cape rest of my life, and or until I retire. But it always God's plan that I got a position at the Northwest University Business School. And at the University of the Western Cape, I was teaching all undergraduate students, master's students, and also PhD students. So there are three components of students. I was not specialized, so there was a crowd. Sometimes I could teach a number of classes and so on because of the lack of staff members,
Mhm.
sufficient staff members. So then when I got the position as a professor of the Northwest University Business School. Then I took that position in 2016, and then I served there almost for 5 years. And that was the business school which was accredited by the AMBA, Association of Master of Business Administration, which is one
Mhm.
of the probably few institutions, not only in South Africa but also in the whole world. I think about 250 to 300 institutions across the globe accredited by AMBA. So we were one among them, and
Mhm.
I served there for 5 years, Prof. And thereafter, I moved to DUT, Durban University of Technology. The reason being is that because they started a business school about 2 years ago. It's fairly a young institution, so I thought that wherever there's a young institution, that probably an experienced teacher like me can put some efforts, and we can work together to build up that institution to a greater height. So that's one of the reasons I moved from NW to DUT Pro.
That is amazing, and I didn't even know that DUT had a business school until I saw your bio.
Yes, Prof. It is a fairly recent institution, and Professor Fulu Natsavera, our executive dean, is working so hard to build that institution, and as one of the prominent institutions in the KwaZulu-Natal area and also in South Africa in the years to come. And we do have students. This year we got quite good number of students, and last year, before last year also, we had about plus minus about 60, 65 students we admitted for Master of Business Administration. And we
Wow.
also have some short programs as well, executive programs as well. So that's what we're going to expand in the due course of time. We also intended to start PGD programs, Prof, postgraduate diploma in finance, probably marketing, general management, and so on.
That is incredible. I mean, that's quite a large number of MBA students. Well, let me tell you, I teach business ethics and CSR in the MBA. So if you're looking for an instructor, I'm right here.
Absolutely, Prof. Absolutely. The world is so huge for talented people like you. There's always, there's a way to find.
Thank you so much. Prof Rena, you've received many awards and accolades, and it's quite evident that these are all well-deserved. I can hear from your passion and your tone of voice and your experience that, you just go on talking about your journey. What stands out for you?
To prove that I don't look at the awards and rewards. I just look at my mission, my objective, my duty, what I can do. And I honestly, wholeheartedly with that question. You can.
Okay, I must apologize. I'm in the middle of load shedding at the moment. In the joys and wonders of South Africa. I'm sure you're missing
Absolutely.
that right now.
Yes, Prof. Yeah, not an issue, Prof. So we've been sharing about the awards and rewards. I always look at my objective, my contribution more than the awards and rewards. Even if I do not get any award or reward, I still do the same thing with more joy and ecstasy, and that is my, with utmost dedication. So I just that is a passion to me, doing something, adding a little bit of value wherever I can.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm not a big person as such, but whatever small I can contribute that can make some difference, I'll always do that for.
Absolutely wonderful. And you've had so many, or you're still receiving so many accolades and awards. Congratulations on that. And like I said, it is definitely well deserved. You are
Thank
making
you.
such an impact and difference in people's lives. And well done. So just to move ahead, in the middle of load shedding, I don't want my laptop to die on me now.
No problem,
but
Prof.
But just talking about your directorship, you are linked and affiliated to a lot of organizations, and you sit at board level. Um, how do you? Firstly, I want to ask you, how do you juggle your time?
Well, that's also very important, Prof. That we all got 24 hours. whether the rich man or the president or prime minister, you and me, we all got 24 hours time. So we
Mhm.
just need to balance. There are times that I work hard up to 2 o'clock in the night, early morning, wherever I am, whether I'm in South Africa, I'm in India, or I'm in Brazil. So I try to manage the time, spending a little bit extra time to complete my works. Otherwise, we'll always run behind. So if I take the assignment, if I commit with something else, I will always make sure that I will do it within that particular time. There could be some instances here and there. I may miss the deadline, but I will make sure that I will do as best as possible. So that
Yes.
is one thing, Pro. I always believe that 8 plus 8 plus 8 principle. So these 24 hours we need to divide among those three components. 8 hours hard work that you can do whatever you are doing for your institution, and 8 hours rest and sleep. And remaining 8 hours is the fundamental question. That 8 hours you can try to divide among your family, friends, and your faith, whether Christianity, Muslim, or Hindu, whatever, and that you can keep. And then the remaining H is hygiene and health and hobbies. Whatever you wanted to gymming, you wanted to do some kind of walking, or whichever the way that you would like to do, that one thing you can do. And there's also one more thing is that, we all have our own faith. We all have our own belief system. So that belief system can make you smile, and that can make not only you smile but also your soul smile. So if
Mhm.
you could able to balance those things, maybe helping other human beings, your soul always will smile. That means service to the society, service to the community. That's where you get the smile for your soul. So if you could able to balance within this 24 hours with this kind of fundamental structure, then we can always do something better.
Okay, I'm going to ask you this question. Do you
Please,
get
Joe.
8 hours of sleep?
Pardon?
Do you get 8 hours of sleep?
Not really. I don't get that. So that's where I sacrifice actually. Maybe sometimes I sleep about 5 hours, 6 hours maximum. That's the time. There are times that I work throughout the night without sleeping. I worked the following day also, maybe having 2 hours sleep. It happens. But I make sure that at least 5 to 6 hours I will try to take rest, and the remaining hours I can. There could be some occasions if I'm traveling, for example, I was going to Brazil 4 5 months ago. I slept because there's a long journey from South Africa to Brazil, so I
Mhm.
can rest.
Yes.
Maybe 7 8 hours I slept. So that's the way that I could try to compensate.
Yes, I think we all do that. We juggle our time and just, I know it's actually bad for our bodies and for our health and
Yes, Prof.
well-being, but sometimes we just cannot, cope. And we have so much on our plates and we have to do X, Y, Z, and we have deadlines and we overachievers, that's what it is, overachievers.
Absolutely. Thank you, Prof.
I know you touched on being the founder, editor-in-chief of the International Journal of Education, Economics and Development, published by Indus Science UK. You touched a little bit on your writing. Um, Tell us about that role as an editor and writer, because I know you're very, very experienced in writing, and that is why I said to you, I'd like you to read my thesis as well.
Absolutely, Prof.
How did
Yes,
it
in fact,
start as the founding editor in chief? I mean, that's a big title to have and lots of responsibilities as well.
sure, Prof. In fact, I started the journal in 2008 while I was still working in Papua New Guinea, and I was the founder and editor in chief of the journal. I served there for more than 8 years as the founder editor in chief. That was a huge role, Prof. I have to connect with the authors. There are different papers from different corners of the world. They come to me. I need to process it among the 500 reviewer board and editors board that we have. We need to find the experts and we need to get the comments from them. Again, inform the authors. And once the articles are filtered and accepted, then again I connect with the publisher. So I published while I was editor in chief more than 55 countries articles that we published, Pro. And in
Wow.
fact, the Scopus is the criteria, Scopus IBSS, and those are the criteria that we use in South Africa.
Mhm.
Scopus was very much pleased the way we improve the quality of the journal in a short span of period. Scopus is willing to index our journal from the issue one, number one issue, starting from 2009 onwards. So our journal has been indexed in Scopus, and also it is listed in IBSS, which is International Bibliography of Social Sciences, which is also ABDC ranked journal, Australian Business Council, Dean's Council journal also. So it is everywhere. So we improve the quality of the journal substantially over a period of time. I also serve as a associate editor of African Journal of Science, Technology, Innovation and Development, which was published by Taylor and Francis Group. These two journals are indexed by Scopus and many other probably indexing agencies. The main ones are this one. So now I work, in addition to these two, Prof, I also work more than 35 journals as editorial board member, senior editor, and so on and so forth. Many of them are also Scopus indexed journals. So that's how I try to operate, Prof. That's where the sleeping problem comes, actually.
I have no idea how you manage all of this. I just have no idea. This is
Where there
crazy.
is a will, there is a way, Prof. We just wanted to serve. Not that every time we get articles from every journal. There could be maybe 2 to 3 articles for one journal, sometimes 4 articles for one journal in 1 year time. So we just need to balance accordingly, Prof.
Okay, wow. And you've published over 150 articles in newspapers, magazines, and websites as well.
Absolutely, Prof. There are two different things, Prof. One is 150 articles in peer-reviewed research journals.
Okay.
And then another 150 articles, there are magazines like Financial Times. I also published an article on South African banking system, South African banking finances in Financial Times, London-based Financial Times. So I contribute to even Times of India and also Times Magazine and probably Middle East Times. So there are so many other websites and newspapers, and African economic analysis also I used to contribute regularly. So there are so many newspapers and different parts of the world I contribute on regular basis, actually.
Wow, a man in demand. But you know what really piqued my interest was the PhDs that you supervised. Was it 60, over 60?
That's correct, Prof.
Oh my goodness. And, also an examiner, external examiner and moderator as well. So tell me a little bit about that. I mean, you've worked in numerous countries and you've actually supervised candidates' theses and dissertations in numerous countries across the world. I'm very interested to know about the different cultures that you work with.
Well, Prof, through my journey, I worked, as I indicated to you, that I worked most of my life in African continent because I have my passion and my interest and my love for African continent. I have PhD students from Nigeria, Botswana, Zimbabwe, and also Uganda, South Africa, Namibia, many countries actually I worked with. And so I produced quite a number of PhDs and master students from different countries of Africa. And of course, from Asian continent also, I did produce some students. But that is actually, it is culturally, we are all different people. Within one country, we have Zulus, we have Kozas, we have Swanas, and Pedis, and so on and so forth. So we do have different cultures. But when you have the love and passion to your work, and you treat your students with respect and love and care, then you always have good interaction and good output, good throughput rates, and so on. So some of my students, they write some good things about me, and that can be found in LinkedIn and different other platforms, that I wholeheartedly work. I work with my kind of heart with them, that I want to, because so many of our Black students, Prof, they are not getting the opportunity to do the PhD, number one. Even if they get the opportunity, they are not able to complete their PhDs because of so many hurdles. So when somebody is allotted to me, I work harder. I go extra mile so that they can complete their PhDs within that given period of time, in the record time.
That's amazing. I mean, I can see your passion in it, with helping the students, because I know what the PhD journey is all about. You reach stages where you just want to give up and say, do I really have to do this? Why am I doing this? And you really want to give up when things don't go your way. So I think with motivation from you and you just inspiring others to just carry on and do their best, that is an added plus, really.
Yes.
But just on that note, who inspires you and why?
Well, you mean biased?
Who
Who
inspires you?
advise?
You inspire a lot of
Who
people.
inspire?
Who inspires
Well,
you?
yes, both. Well, I think I always get the inspiration from the God and also from the nature. So these are the two natural inspirations that I get. And of course, I inspire from my own experiences as well. And besides that, we have great leaders like we have our father of the nation, Nelson Mandela. He was very humble, very great leader, and of course Mahatma Gandhi and we have a great leader like Barack Obama and so many other leaders. So they always try to inspire in different ways. They may not be academicians as such, but they are really great leaders that they started somewhere small and they became so great. Because there is one thing always remember, that you don't need to be a great person. You don't need to be born great, but you are a small person. You are an ordinary human being or an ordinary citizen, but you do the simple things in an extraordinary manner, then you will always definitely become great. So I just try my best. Actually, I'm not a perfect person. I'm not, but I'm trying my best. So when you try your best wholeheartedly, unconditionally, without expecting anything, then other things will come along the way, Prof.
I so agree with you. Everything just falls into place. Yes, absolutely. Such wise
Yes.
words from you there, Prof. Thank you so much for that. But what is your key message to people? We've now hit the third month of 2023. This year seems to be going so fast, you know. What would be your key message to people out there just to empower them?
Prof, I think 2023 is going to be a blessed year for all the 8 billion people, one way or the other way, because we already lost 2.5 years with the March 2020 until recently August, September 2022. So that particular period we lost because of the COVID restrictions and so on. So this is the time that everything is opening up. And then we need to always remember one thing, Prof, is that hope is considered to be the poor man bread. Everybody should be optimistic and hopeful. We all have challenges at our own space. Whether a rich man has got its own challenge, poor man has got his own challenge, vice chancellor has got its own challenges, and also normal lecturer also got, normal professor also got his own challenges. Every human being that is living on this planet, we do have challenges. So my message would be in 2023, although today is the 2nd of March 2023, that life is like a flute, Prof. We have the flute. A
Yes,
flute has got a lot of holes in it,
yes.
and inside the flute there's a lot of vacuum, and it looks
Mhm,
empty.
mhm,
But so our life is also like that. We have lots of holes are like challenges, and whatever the hurdles that we face in our lifetime, we feel, we look, we are empty, but we are not empty, Prof. The way we use these 24 hours of our time, like a flute, the moment when we begin to play the flute, and there is a melodious voice that can be generated. So life is also like that. When you believe in yourself, you believe in your Almighty, whatever the belief that you have, whether the Christianity or the Islam or the Hindu or any other religion, you believe in that, try to work hard and consistently in a sustainable manner, then definitely your life will become meaningful. And you can also not only help yourself, but you also help other fellow human beings. So that is why we believe in this small flute, and the flute example is applicable for every human being on this planet. We need to empower ourselves. Nobody is going to empower somebody that, but we can empower ourselves by what we have and how best you can use that small things. And then instead of running after what you don't have, just try to use what you have. You have time and you have small resources. Use
mhm.
those things efficiently, effectively, so that your life will become better, and everybody's life become better. The whole world also can become better world, Prof.
Wow. What a way to sum up. Words of inspiration from Professor Dr. Ravinder Rena. Before we go, right? You're in India at the moment. What is
Yes,
it that
Prof.
you're
I'm in
missing?
Hyderabad, India.
What are you missing about South Africa right now?
Well, I miss the climate, of course. So we are getting summer here, and obviously, although we have summer in South Africa, I miss the climate. I miss the clean environment. I miss our people and the students, and of course, everything that I associated on regular basis. I do miss it. And the good thing, tomorrow I'm flying to Varanasi. There is a university called SMS School of Management Sciences. They are organizing an international conference. So I was one of the keynote speakers for that conference. So I'll be flying there for 3 4 days. In fact, I'm supposed to be back to South Africa last week, sorry, this week, Tuesday and 27th, but I just extended for a little more time because of these commitments.
Are you missing the load shedding?
I'm not missing the load shedding. I must say this. Of course, none of us can miss load shedding.
I know,
I'm
I
sure
know.
you will be going to Cambodia. At least you will have some, you will definitely miss the load shedding, which is good for us. Now, the moment when I come again, I will be affected by load shedding, but at least, for the time being, you are affected. I'm not affected.
It's crazy. I mean, just trying to adjust because it disrupts your entire day. When you try to plan something and then at the back of your mind, it's going to actually dip at a certain point, and
Absolutely.
you really can't work and optimally. And that's the problem I'm having with my studies as well. But anyway, I tend
Yes.
to do a lot at night, so I think that helps as well. But Prof, it was so great talking to you. You're such an inspiration. I think our audience are going to take away lots of great points from you. And I wish you everything of the best on the conference that you're attending. And I would hope to meet you someday in person. So let's look forward to that as well. And what is your next? Where to from here?
So for the journey that I started for the last 30 years of my professional life, I didn't plan these things actually. I just take it the way things had happened. So I do not know where I'm going to head towards, but let us see what God is planning for me. And whatever comes in my way, I will certainly take it and try to build it from there. So let us hope for the best. And I
Yes.
also wish you good luck, Prof, in your endeavors. You are working hard, not only in academia, but also you are a great leader, great corporate leader that you inspired and you worked as an entrepreneur and you did a lot of works for the people of South Africa. So I wish you good luck. And probably 2023 would be a great year for you and for your family as well, Prof.
Thank you, Prof. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate that. Your last words. What are your last words?
Well, my last words is just that we must be optimistic of everything. We must develop the positive attitude actually.
Yes.
So positive mind always can grow stronger, better, and also try to inspire others. When you have a positive mind, Prof, that you will be inspiring others, and you also like a candle that you can lit the other candles as well. So you are trying to assist in that manner. So positive mind is always like a life, and negative mind is always like a death. So we all should possess that positive mind, Prof.
I love the way you put everything into perspective and describe it. You can tell it's a real teacher out there. Thank you so much, Prof. Thank you for coming on the show. I really enjoyed this chat. I know we went way above our time, but it was so awesome listening to you. And I mean, I could go on talking to you forever, but we have to end the chat now. Thank you so much for coming and sharing your journey with us and everything that you've achieved, accomplished, and just inspiring and motivating people out there. If you can do it, everyone else can do it. So,
Yes, so my journey is simple, Prof. I'm a simple human being, started as a farmer, and now I became a full professor. So anybody can learn. I'm an open book, actually. Anybody who wanted to know me more, about me more, they can just write my name, Ravinder Rena, in Google, and that will also speak. My Google Scholar Index is also about 1,230 citations that I have. My H index is 21, my I-10 index is 39. That also speaks about
wow.
my scholarly contributions.
Amazing, amazing. Economics, mathematician, everything coming out there with all your figures and facts. Thank you so
Yes,
much, Prof. It was great chatting to you. To the audience out there, if you would like to be on the Red Corner Show, please drop me an email, Red Corner Show, and you too could be inspiring others, just like Prof Rena. So all the best to everyone, and I hope you've learned something from this show today. Take care. God bless. Bye.
Thank
Bye,
you very much,
Prof.
Professor Shamila Ramjawan. Thank you.
Thank you,
One and
Prof.
all. All the
Bye.
viewers and listeners, thank you very much.
Thank you.